For centuries man has speculated about the year 2012. From the ancient minds to Nostradamus up to Albert Einstein. Theories have ranged from the mystical to the scientific to the downright crazy.
Would like some music?
Had mankind known then what we know now, maybe we could have been prepared. But somehow, I feel man's destiny has been etched in the stars since time immemorial. Looks idyllic here, doesn't it? But like the pyramids of ancient Egypt, the mortar of our society is stained by the blood of our ancestors. It started, how it so often does, on television.
Hey there, Billy. Are you bored? Fancy a change? Do you want to go on the holiday of a lifetime? Well, now you can. The moon, the holiday of the future. Top megacorp scientists have been working for years to create the ultimate holiday resort. See the Earth from space. Play moon sports in zero gravity. Relax in the pure luxury of a resort that's out of this world!
Well, Jiminy Cricket, that sure sounds swell, mister, but I can't afford a ticket.
That's where you're in luck, Billy. Megacorps are offering one lucky person a free ticket on the first trip.
Well, I'd sure like to get my hands on one of those tickets, sir, but how do I go about it?
It couldn't be simpler, Billy. Just pop along to your local interview center today and enter the selection process. Hey, Billy, where are you going in such a hurry?
I'm off to my local interview center. I don't want to miss out on the opportunity of a lifetime.
Billy's right. There's no time to waste. Head to your local interview center today. The Moon is a registered trademark of Megacorp, a subsidiary of the world government.
Good evening. Welcome to the 6 o'clock news. I'm Chuck Davey. Tonight we'll be talking to our resident scientist following a recent and rare phenomenon known as spontaneous combustion, after a milkman in Barnstable went up in smoke. This has led to a nation crying out for answers. Is there really no use crying over spilt milk? But first, this story.
The entire country has got moon fever. Since the announcement last week to win Megacorp's lunar vacation, also being called the holiday of a lifetime, people have been queuing for days on end to get their interviews.
I've been here for 29 hours. I can't feel my legs.
Who wouldn't want to go to the moon?
When I was a boy, I broke my leg one summer and my father brought me a telescope. I spent weeks looking at the stars and, well, ever since then, I've wanted to go to the moon.
The moon? It's not the queue for the bank? Huh? The bank?
Well, there you have it. An entire nation in the grip of moon mania. The nation hasn't been this excited since the launch of the transatlantic bridge in 1998, which connected New York to London. Back to you in the studio, Chuck.
Fascinating. And now, I'm going to pass you over to our weather girl, Mindy. Mindy?
Sunny, rainy, cloudy or windy, who's got the weather? That's Mindy.
Thanks, Chuck. Okay, so one thing I can say for definite is that the temperature has increased. Not just in the continent, but in the whole country. In the last 24 hours, the temperature has increased by 30%. Back to you, Chuck.
And Mindy, do you have any advice for our viewers at home for the weather, say, tomorrow?
Wear a hat.
Thanks, Mindy. And now back to our main story. A man has spontaneously combusted. Jeff Jones, a milkman from Barnstable, combusted while on his daily rounds yesterday at approximately 8 o'clock in the morning. His family have been informed. Here to try and help us explain this phenomenon is our resident scientist, Caractacus Wood. Caractacus, can you explain this phenomenon for our viewers?
Well, the only thing I can tell you, Chip...
That's Chuck.
Chuck, the only thing I can tell you is this is completely unexplainable.
Yes? Now? Very well.
What is it, dear?
The office. Got to go in. A meeting about this blasted heatwave.
Well, you better hot-foot it over there.
Indeed.
So I'll see you soon.
A new landslide for the next generation of the 10. 20 years' time you'll be having this.
The numbers, they don't add up.
I've looked at it over and over again. Let's be honest, isn't it? You want to get on it? Why are you doing that?
Anti-gravitational devices, whatever you have to work on so much. Problem. Get us out.
This is completely explainable. Gentlemen, my colleague and myself will be explaining to you the events that have been happening around the world.
Sir, we've just lost Bolivia.
So we've got record glacier melts in Sweden, forest fires ravaging the Australian outback, radiation sickness in Tokyo, and a beach of dead dolphins in the Algarve.
Yes, this is exactly why we're here. Everyone, please take a seat. Thank you, thank you. The recent increase in sunspot activity has led to a massive increase in solar radiation. This bombardment has led to the ozone layer molecules shedding electrons at an increased rate. Now, as you all know, without the high electron content of the upper atmosphere, the magnetic field that protects the Earth will be weakened. Please calm down. Now, as dangerous as this sounds, we have a plan to save the human race. Gentlemen, allow me to introduce Project Ark.
The Ark is the ultimate spacecraft. Originally designed to terraform and colonize Mars, it has been redesigned as the ultimate lifeboat, containing a complete database of the human culture, music, film, books, and everything. Also, samples of all human life and life forms on Earth, which we've already stored as part of the Operation Earth 2, will be taking with us. We've room on board for 1,000 citizens. Already we have drawn up the list of the creme de la creme of the sciences, arts, and cultures. Here to explain more is our government representative, Mr. Smith.
Thank you, Don.
You're welcome.
Gentlemen. And other. I'm here to introduce you to Project Everyman. Because, and allow me to speak frankly, you can have as many scientists, linguists, geologists, and whatever kind of ists you like on board, but that's not society. That's not humanity. That's just brains. And representatives of the arts and culture. Spiffing. However, let me ask you this. What is the point in saving the works of Shakespeare if there is not a single person to enjoy it? What's the point of saving the works of Tchaikovsky if you don't save a single soul that can be lifted by its joy? And what's the point of saving artists, musicians, and poets if we don't save a single person to inspire them with great deeds? We represent the finest minds in the entirety of the planet Earth, but not one of you holds a PhD in compassion, honesty, or justice. I'll be conducting nationwide interviews in this search for a man, a truly good man, an every man.
Gentlemen, according to my calculations, we have a lot less time than we first anticipated. At the current rate of expansion, solar radiation will incinerate the world.
How long do we have?
Till Tuesday.
My God!
Get out of there, you know? Take your money out. Get in the good enough. All this business, everything else.
Numbers, they don't add up.
My name is Special Star, I'm 19 and I'm an actress.
Solomon Bones, I'm a jazz musician and I'm 29.
My name is Eleanor, I am 27 and I am a lecturer of women's poetry and literature.
Sebastian Basson, I'm 23 and I look good.
My name is Harold Frank, I'm 24 years old and I want to go to the moon because I know alien life's up there and I want to meet them.
Well, I think it's time that there was some female representation outside of this Earth. Men have screwed up planet Earth so badly, it's time a woman took over somewhere else.
Well, I'm already clearly the most beautiful man on the earth. Why not the moon as well? The moon needs a good-looking ambassador, and I am that man.
Because I think it would just up my famousness a lot more, and I think people would really know my face. And even though I don't actually think the moon is real, I think being on a show that I could win a moon, or be on the moon, or whatever it is about the moon, it would make me more famous, so that's why I'm here. Special star, you know, hello.
I see the moon like a blank canvas that I can paint with my jazz. Like, gee whiz, you think like no one's been up there at all, really. Like, so there's nothing there, so I can, all them horizons and new landscapes to be inspired by that no one's ever really been, and try to get creativity from, and I could be the first.
All I know that is real is sparkles and stars and being beautiful and being famous, and I just don't believe in something that you can't really see.
I don't think I've written specific songs about the moon as such, but I've definitely been inspired by space and stars and looking up and searching for more and new horizons.
It's just on strings, and you can just see the spotlights are just up there to make this big circle in the sky, and yeah, it's pretty to look at. I mean, I'm pretty to look at. This was all designed by me, by the way. This is Special Star Productions. You can find it in your little local shops. Anyway, yeah, I don't think the moon is real.
Fashion choice. This is my fashion choice all the time. I like to wear clothes that put me out there, meet new people. That is what I am about.
Right, it's well, this is the area sort of where the frequencies come in, because they're coming from above.
By attaching these pieces of shiny plastic to my head, I find it attracts from my feminine wiles, and any men that might deign to look at my breasts would be distracted by my unattractive hair accessory.
The bit here, it absorbs the frequencies, and then it puts it up into the bulb, and when the bulb turns on, that's when they try and speak to me.
I believe in aliens, definitely. All the time, they're everywhere. They're everything. You can see them. You see their faces.
I'd like to think they're aliens on the moon, and I hope they've got some good jazz going, some good beats.
They whisper. They whisper in the back of my head, and well, it's not so much a whistling, more of a whistling, really.
They don't look like they can morph into anything. They can be anything.
They've got like a long snout, and they wear sort of gold caps, and they've got large ears and sort of button noses, and you know they've got like armour on, and they've got swords. Yeah, they've got swords and ray guns.
They could be you. They could be me. They could be anything. They could be a chair, a newspaper. They're everywhere. They're watching us. They were here before us.
They took my kidney.
I think alien music would sound like jazz, but a bit more crazy. So it'd be like a normal beat, but then it'd have a lot more weirder noises going on, things that I wouldn't have heard of yet, which is quite interesting, really, that idea.
Well, when you talk about space men, as in little green men, well, if they're as threatening as science would have us believe, they most likely are men, because no women would do that.
I think science is interesting, but I only like science if it's true, if they can prove that it's true. If they can't prove it's true, I don't want to know, even though you can't prove that aliens are true, even though I know that they're true.
When the frequencies hit the tinfoil, the light goes on, and then I have to sort of go into my bunker.
I do films about love and romance and magic and everything that a girl could possibly wish for.
With the spaceman, as in the astronauts, well, if I'm going to be going into space, I will be a space woman.
I've been in films about romance, and like my husband would be in the war and he'd leave and I'd be really sad, and I would do, you know, sad poses because, you know, make sure I get my best angles.
Well, women rule the household. It's just that society hasn't recognised that.
I sell cameras in a camera shop. It's okay. I mean, the cameras, they deflect because of the lenses. They deflect the frequencies, and I'm safe there.
I'm doing my dream job at the moment, which is being a jazz musician, taking inspiration and inspiring. I guess an extension of that would be, like I said, to be on the moon, and taking in these new horizons and new atmospheres, and driving for something new musically, something that not been done before.
I'd like to be the face of this. That is my ideal job.
That's a male label. I'm not a feminist. I am a person. I am a superior person to the people that give people that feminist label.
I get my inspiration from anything I see, really. I like to be very open to anything that's around me, whether it be other people, buildings, vehicles, space, stars, the sun, sunsets, anything that inspires me, or anything at all like that.
I've killed someone before, but there was someone there, and he wasn't human. He was an alien. I'm sure of it.
I'd probably kill a man for this opportunity. I'd kill several, why not?
To get to the moon? Yes. What's another man? What I would do is I'd take myself and a bunch of other ladies to the moon, and we could start an Amazonian race outside of this disgusting planet.
I think it's very sad that there's children that are starving and there's people that are killing each other, and I don't think it's very nice. I think that if we could all help to do something about it, it would stop it, and but we don't. We just carry on with our lives.
Wars, famine, the pushing down of women on a day-to-day basis. Everybody knows that women are really the greater sex. Humans are the only animal species where the women are inferior to the men.
Stop messing with my head.
When I get to the moon, I think the first thing I'll do is find somewhere I can have a drink and play some music, see what inspiration takes me.
I'll probably do my hair. You know, become accustomed to the new sort of surroundings around me.
Well, because it's fake, obviously, it's going to be like a stage with the big round lights and a black background with lots of stars, and I think I could just stand and be the ultimate star on my moon with my spotlight.
I wouldn't say I have a huge amount of friends, because people get jealous of me and, well, my looks, you know.
I have a lot of people around me that tell me what to do and tell me how to be, and you know, they're my friends. I think I pay them to be around me. I pay them to hold my bags, but they're my friends. They're the closest people around me.
I think that my biggest flaw is heterosexuality, but I'm hoping to change that on the Moon Utopia.
My biggest flaw? I don't really have many flaws, but some people say I can be a bit vain sometimes.
I'm not sure what my biggest flaw would be. That's actually stumped me a little.
My biggest flaw, that I'm not as famous as that I'd like to be, and I think that being on your show or being on the moon or winning to be on the moon would make me more famous, and I think that I'd have no more flaws. I would be absolutely perfect. I mean, can you see any flaws?
I believe that I'm morally upright to a point, but as you asked, I can be a bit weird.
I needed to know if they were talking to me, and I was asking everyone in the street, and it was really early in the morning. I just got up and I was in some briefs, and yeah, I got arrested. It was cold.
I'd say the weirdest thing I've ever done is playing naked on stage, except for my trusty hat.
The best thing I've ever done in my life, I I had a haircut the other day, which I thought was pretty spectacular.
You must have seen it. It's 55,000 Ladies Under the Mud. You must have seen it. It's amazing. It's about arms and ladies, and it's about fighting. And we grab the men from under the mud. It's so dramatic. It's a horror film.
The best quality in someone else. I think it's got to be looks. I think beautiful people are the people I want to be around.
What quality do I value most in a person? A uterus.
If I could rule the world, firstly, I'd get rid of all the ugly people.
No men. The abolishment of men is an improvement straight away.
If I could rule the world, I'd make it a better place with more music and more love and more fun and more drinking.
If I could rule the world, I'd make it a better place by everybody listening to me, everyone being nice to each other, everyone giving each other a present every single day, and a hug, and no war. And if anyone does war, then they get sent to a box and live there forever and die, because they're evil.
The bravest thing I've ever done? I'm quite a brave person, so I have lots and lots of different brave stories. But I'd say the space hat is pretty, well, pretty out there.
I'm a musician, makes me more of a lover rather than a hater.
Stop with the voices. Just stop.
Oh, I wish I could go up to the moon, see all them sights and look around. Can't you see me looking down at you for the moon?
I would love to meet Elizabeth I. That's a true feminist icon.
Well, let's be honest. You need a face for sending people to the moon, and I am that face.
I'd like to think that I'm bad, but I'm probably quite good.
Thank you very much for this opportunity.
Interview over.
Excellent, thank you. I hope I win. Thank you.
Thank you. And don't forget, I'm a special star. Never forget. Bye. Thank you.
Oh. No, the voices. No, they're gonna get in. No.
These days like today, that I created this diary for. Life on this planet is a delicate thing. So many tiny balances, how any of them change, and this world is gone. And all the life, human, animal, plant, it is all gone. That thing, that one thing, this morning, we found out has happened. The sun is emitting huge amounts of solar radiation, unlike something we have seen before. It's
will devastate the whole planet. A little at first, and then it will cook the planet. It's like a microwave. The moon is our only hope. We have calculated that it will be shielded on the far side of the Earth at the time of the main burst. Also, without an atmosphere, it will not cook. No atmosphere to boil, for the radiation to bounce around in, it will, after the initial moment of hardship, it will be fine. At first, I found this whole thing alarming, saddening. But as time has gone on, I see this as a huge chance for the species to rid itself of an entire unwanted rabble who do nothing but argue amongst themselves, sit on their television stations, watching game shows and meaningless films about heroes and villains, believing all the news they hear because the TV is God. If it's said on TV, it is true. If it is not on TV, then it is not true. We can control that truth. It is hard to speak, knowing what I know. I am not heartless. I am pragmatic. We can achieve lots. We can achieve a human race to be proud of. But for now I must go. There are things to attend to.
Ah, Mr. Johnson, is it?
Please, call me George, Mr.
Smith, Mr. Johnson. Please take a seat.
I simply must tell you, Mr. Smith, just what a pleasure it is to have this opportunity, to have the chance to set foot on the moon.
Everybody who wants to be interviewed will be, Mr. Johnson. If we could just get on with the interview process. So, Mr. Johnson. Question 1. Why do you want to go to the moon?
It's always been my first and greatest dream, Mr. Smith. You see, when I was a small boy, I broke my leg. How exactly, I simply can't remember. Probably climbing a tree or playing a bracing game of footy in the greens. Great days.
On topic, please, Mr. Johnson.
Oh, sorry. As I was saying, when I was a little boy, I broke my leg and I was laid up in bed for weeks on end, watching the sun pass me by. Well, my old dad, he went out and that very day brought me a telescope. A most beautiful telescope. It was made of metal and glass, a real telescope. Not one of those Bakelite toys. Must have cost him a month's wages. He set it up in my bed and, pointing out the window, showed me how to focus it and how to look after it. And, well, that night he showed me the moon. I remember dreaming of climbing Terra Vigoris and walking across the Sea of Tranquility, each step 10 yards long. My father had told me I could do anything I wanted with my life, and I swore to him that one day I'd go to the moon. But I never had the brains to be an astronaut, and well, this is my chance to make my old man right.
You're telling me, Mr. Johnson?
George, please.
George, that the only reason you want to go to the moon is to fulfill a promise to your father?
Well, that's not just it. I'm sure my wife would be proud, and my little boy too. It'd be something to brag about on the playground in school. And looking down on the whole planet Earth, just giving a wave and a smile to every human being, I can imagine that's quite a feeling.
I imagine it is. So, tell me, if somebody else won this trip and you could take it from them, would you?
Why, Mr. George, what kind of man do you think I am?
It's just a question, George. It's all down here.
I could never do something like that, sir. Never.
No one would blame you, George. No one would ever know.
I'd know, Mr. Smith. I would know.
What's the bravest thing you've ever done?
Why, asking my good lady wife for a hand in marriage.
If you ruled the world, what would you do to make it a better place?
I'd let someone smarter than me rule.
What would you do if you won a winning lottery ticket in the street?
I'd try my damn hardest to find the person it belonged to and notify the lottery authorities.
George, Mr. Johnson, are you joshing with me?
Wait, no, Mr. Smith, not a bit. Just, my father always told me to do what's right, sir, and I will.
Your father seemed very important to you.
Yeah, he was a great man. Worked every day the Lord sent. Still had a good time for a laugh and a joke with everyone he met.
You could go to the moon or bring your father back. Which would you pick?
Is that question on the clipboard, Mr. Smith?
This is my job, Mr. Johnson. These questions determine whether or not you'll be going to the moon, and I assure you there are a great many applicants who want to go very, very much.
My father, he never met his grandson, and giving my boy a grandfather and my wife a father-in-law would mean more to them than going to the moon would be for me.
I'm amazed, George. I really am. These past few days I've interviewed people who are vain and selfish. I was quite unprepared for you.
Is the interview over, sir?
It is, George. And congratulations.
You mean?
I set out to find a man that was good, George. In fact, a great man. I never expected to find one that would deny it.
Thank you, Mr. Smith. I can't tell you what this means to me. Thank you.
Yes. It's done. We found him.
Hi, honey, I'm home.
Darling George.
Dearest Jane. And where's the little one?
He's asleep in his crib, not quite big enough to greet you at the door yet. Why don't you take a seat, dear? Supper should be ready soon.
Holy for holy, this dinner looks amazing. Do I have the best wife ever?
Oh, George, you're the best husband. I mean, you really are. There's not a bad bone in you.
No, you're good.
So, how was your day, dear? Did you get any news?
Oh, George, here's gonna be a spaceman!
Oh, George, you won? Yeah. I'm so happy. But, sweetie, are you sure it's safe?
Oh, dear. Those astronauts have been doing it for decades. I'll be to the moon and back before you know it.
Well, if you're sure, I just don't know what I and young George Jr. would do without you.
Oh, my dear, I wouldn't want to cause you any distress. I'll stay if that what makes you happy.
Oh, George, you simply must go. It's been your dream since you was a boy.
Well, you're my dreams now, Jane. Every last one.
Oh, George, you know I love you, and I've missed you terribly. And you do so much for me and, well, young George Jr. But I can't stop you from fulfilling your greatest dream. You must go. You simply must.
I don't know.
Oh, George, you simply must go. You simply must. Because I want you to bring me back a piece of the moon.
A piece of the moon?
Yes, George, a real piece of space rock. Why, people say that those space rocks light up like stars in the night.
Well then, what my sweetheart wants, my sweetheart gets. Next week, old George here's going to the moon.
Yes, hello, Mr. Johnson. No, nothing serious. You're still going on your trip. I just need you to visit Professor Caractacus. He's going to fill you in on some of the details of the trip to the moon. No, it's quite all right. Goodbye, Mr. Johnson.
Hi, I'm here for my induction.
Yes, he must be the everyman. I thought he would be taller. Well, come with me. We get you a seat. We have lots to go through today. It is all written in here, and we'll get to you soon so you can look through it.
Gee, I'm so excited. I'm just...
Right, yes, it will be quite an interesting day. We have several programs I see here for you to go through. Basic astronaut training, you need a suit we have to fit you up for, and how the base is going to run when we get there. Simple things like that. It's all in here. If you will take this and study this, without this, you could have problems on the moon. Okay.
Gee, I'm so excited. I can't wait to get to the moon and wave to those millions of people.
So off you go then.
Thank you.
Such a shame. Tomorrow, there will be no one to wave to.
Mr. Smith?
Yes, this is Smith.
This is Ludwig.
Ludwig.
We need to talk. It's Caractacus. I fear he's putting the entire mission in jeopardy.
No. No, it can't be. Very well. I know a place. I'll leave a message in your office. Keep a lookout for it.
Excellent. I'll meet you there.
Caractacus has gone mad! Mad, I tell you! Look what I found in his office. Eugenics, genetic manipulation, murderous competition. He's trying to turn this entire mission into some sort of twisted experiment.
Professor.
Okay?
Professor, this is a matter for science. This is outside of my jurisdiction.
I don't care about your jurisdiction.
Sir, I serve Her Majesty the Queen.
I don't care about the damn Queen!
Could have you shot for treason, sir.
That was uncalled for. I apologise. I will not stand idly by and let Caractacus pervert this mission and the very future of the human race!
I serve this country, and as long as this country exists, I am bound by its laws. But after that time, I shall take matters into my own hands.
That seems reasonable. But I will allow the denizens of this planet to fall into abject terror. They have to be told. This decision is not ours to make. We are not gods.
Sir, that is your prerogative. My hands are tied.
That's your decision. Very well.
This just in. A man by the name of George Johnson has been named as the winner of the Megacorp's Lunar Vacation competition.
Oh, I just knew George would win. He's the nicest guy I've ever met. You couldn't find a more swell guy.
The Megacorp's Lunar Vacation spaceship launches tomorrow, live on this network, the Nation's News Network.
Dear Diary, tomorrow I'm going to the moon. I just can't believe it. A guy like me. I'll miss my wife and Junior. But this is something I just can't say no to.
Oh, it's hot in here.
Oh, George, I can't believe it. A real-life spaceship.
I know, it's an exciting day. I'm a bit nervous, though. It's a lot going on.
Oh, you don't need to worry, George. You'll be just fine. But just imagine, a real-life spaceship.
I know. Are you gonna be okay without us?
Of course, we'll be fine.
Hey, yeah. Going to the moon.
Honey, better go talk to the press. I'll be back in a minute.
So, how are we feeling, George?
Well, Chuck, I'm excited, anxious, and nauseous, and a bit more excited.
Well, there you have it. Excitement's certainly the general feeling in the air here. Back to you in the studio. Are we out? We out? George, before you go, we need a quick shot. Are you going into the base? Is that okay?
Yeah, I've got to say goodbye to my family.
Yeah,
I'll have to be quick.
That's fine.
Welcome to the art.
Just in here, George.
Decontamination initializing.
Galacticus Woods, journal entry number 47, project upgrade. As the project nears commencement, I feel I should explain some fundamental truths that have come ever so evident to me in these recent weeks. The Chinese, they have the same word for crisis as they do for opportunity. Simply put, the greater the crisis, the greater the opportunity. Mankind has become stagnant. For millennia, our evolution has been governed by base instincts and illogical thought. The great and the good, they have been cluttered for too long by distractions, by the pursuit of dubious pleasures. No longer shall matings be swayed by affections such as appearance, or personality, or simple sentiment. With this new start, we can accelerate evolution of the human species. We can move the human race further along the path to the greatness that is our birthright. Morality. It is a millstone around the neck of great men. Remove the primitive genetic trickery that has so long bound mankind together as supposed equals, and it becomes the simplest thing in the world to tweak, to change, to improve upon. We can find a better, more useful blueprint for the Homo sapiens species. When a man comes to this most obvious of conclusions, what can he do but try, with all the powers at his disposal, to bring about advancement of his species, should he not do this? Should he not grasp this opportunity with both hands and do what is best for everybody in the long run? For too long, the Untermenschen suckled at the teat of our advancements, our progress, our toil. The Übermensch must ascend beyond these petty animals. Mankind ascending to the realm of angels, not apes, squabbling in the jungles. Now I alone have the vision to seize the opportunity to craft a new race that will rise like the phoenix from the ashes of a diseased world. Ah, Ludwig, I did not see you there.
Decontamination complete.
People should know what's going on. It's not just that the human race is going to die. It's going to be a slow and torturous death. The seas will dry up, plants and trees will burst into flames, the world will be turned into an arid desert. The living will envy the dead.
Eventually, the human race on Earth will die out. There's nothing we can do. This is the only choice.
They should have a chance to protect themselves, or at least a chance to try.
Answer me this, Ludwig. This life that you describe. What kind of life is that?
It's life, damn it!
So you've made your decision.
The world needs to know.
I would not do that if I were you. If you shoot me, who will fly his ship?
How hard can it be? Just a couple of dials and switches.
I suppose you know all about the hydraulic acceleration ignition? The funicular sprockets? And what about the big red button? I am the highest level government scientist. I outrank you. You cannot tell them.
That's an order!
Thanks for waiting. 10 minutes from takeoff. Suggest you put your affairs in order and get ready to leave.
Okay, I need to say goodbye to my family. Gee, I know it'll only be a week, but just had a baby boy and, well, if he was a little bit older, I'd send him in my place. But I promised them.
George, I'll tell you something.
What?
Ludwig's death was unfortunate. He was one of the few people, a few scientists, that I almost considered a peer. However, he allowed petty human emotions to cloud his judgment of what is right for this mission. The attributes that he wished to preserve, they're the very weaknesses that mankind should be seeking to eliminate. Confronting me like he did, challenging my authority, my methods. I guess he must have thought he was irreplaceable. In my wisdom, I made sure, by careful manipulation, that the subjects chosen have a certain amount of redundancy. In case situations such as this, shame as it was, had Ludwig realized this, he would surely have seen the danger of such an outburst. We have a chance to start again, to make mankind the scientific powerhouse it was always capable of being. Intelligence is not enough. Emotional detachment is imperative to the success of this mission. I cannot allow these emotions of others to contaminate this, my vision for the future. Secrecy is key. It is the key to humanity's rebirth among the stars. Society, it has lost its way in the darkness of a moral corruption, and I will be the man, the torchbearer, who leads humanity back from the edge of oblivion and into the glorious light of a new golden age of science and prosperity. It should not be difficult. With Ludwig gone, I am now the sole overseer of the project. through my influence. On this colony, I will be able to subtly control the genetics, the relationships, the building blocks of a new society. I will be able to captain the ship of humanity through the ocean of space towards a new future. A future so much better than the one we are seeing now.
Holy cow, sun radiation! What about everyone in the world? What are we going to do? We've got to tell them! What about the Queen? Does she know? Does she know?
The Queen's already on board, George.
Very funny, Mr. Smith, very funny. You nearly had me there.
I ain't kidding, kid. Now get out there and say goodbye to your family. I never got the chance to say goodbye to mine.
3 minutes until takeoff.
I knew you'd be back. I just knew it. George, whatever is the matter?
His name's George Jr. Give him this for me. Thank you.
My baby! My baby! George, what's going on? Where did they take Junior? Why did they take my baby? Ah!
There's something I need to tell you about tomorrow.
Tuesday?
Yes, Tuesday.
Well, the ship has left, and now all that's left for us to do is look to the stars and pray for the safety of those brave research scientists on board. I've been Chuck Davey. Good night, and God bless. What's that about Tuesday?
So that's the story of how that bolt came to pass, and this one began. Not so idyllic now, is it? That day has come to be known as Sinister Tuesday here on the moon. They try to bring love and compassion to this new world through means of lies and selfishness. And the one man that could have been important to this society sent me in his place. And now I rule this world with an iron fist!